Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. This is Lifestyle Critic, where we break down movies and TV shows into their core elements, and in this video we are going to be reviewing Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Now, I have always said that the middle Harry Potter movies aren't as gripping from start to finish as the bookend movies are, namely the first two and the last two. But that being said, the middle movies do have an epic finale in all of them, which does kind of save the films, and Goblet of Fire in particular definitely has the best and the most unexpected and shocking final acts of a Harry Potter film. I mean, that Voldemort scene was absolutely epic. The twist reveal at the end as well was really brilliant. Really did not see that coming. And the heart-wrenching death scene at the end of this film was super emotional. And the Goblet of Fire was also the first film that definitely did start a bit of a trend where there is a bit of a big character death in all of the subsequent movies. So from that point alone, the Goblet of Fire is truly iconic, and I cannot wait to break it down for you in this movie review. So from a storyline point of view, this film firstly does not open with a scene with the Dursley family and Harry Potter, which is a shame, as I always find those scenes are pretty hilarious. Instead, we have Harry Potter having a bit of a nightmare sequence with the Voldemort character, and we also have a bit of a clunky and disjointed opening act at the Quidditch World Cup tournament, which the Death Eaters then totally ruin. We then go to Hogwarts, where we find out about a Triwizard Tournament, and we have two other schools entering into Hogwarts. So I thought that concept was really interesting, to see Hogwarts rivaling against other schools, which I thought was really interesting. Harry Potter reluctantly is entered into this competition as well, and they have to complete 3 trials to be able to win the Triwizard Tournament. This aspect of the movie I didn't think was that exciting, but like I said, the final act of this movie is totally where it shifts 180 and is really unexpected, with the duel between Harry Potter and with Voldemort. Like I said, that shock death was absolutely powerful and really emotional as well. The scene with the maze was really cool as well, and this all led to a big theatrical production being based on this moment, the Cursed Child, which is kind of linked to what is happening in Goblet of Fire, which is absolutely amazing. So from a storyline point of view, whilst it had a little bit of a slow start, it definitely made up for it in the final act. So from a casting characters point of view, Goblet of Fire is pretty hilarious, as pretty much all of the characters have really long hair in this film, which is really funny. So let's go through them one by one. So first up we have Daniel Radcliffe, who carries this movie really well as the Harry Potter character. He has to enter the Triwizard Tournament against his will, and seeing him navigate that is really interesting. We continue his rivalry with Malfoy. He also has a rivalry and isolation with the Ron and Hermione character. He also has his friendship and rivalry with the Cedric character, and of course he has the epic rivalry and confrontation with Voldemort towards the end of this movie, which is really iconic and really unbelievable. Next up we have Emma Watson as the Hermione Granger character. She doesn't have as big of a role as she did in Prisoner of Azkaban, but they do continue the romance between Ron and Hermione, and they have a big dance sequence in this film as well, so it's really interesting to see it from their both points of view. We then have Rupert Grint, who is back as the Ron Weasley character, and like I said a second ago, he does have his rivalry with the Harry Potter character in this film, which is then resurfaced towards the end of this franchise in the Deathly Hallows. We then have Robert Pattinson, who kind of kicked off his career as the Cedric character in this film, and his story arc across the movie is actually really decent, with an explosive finale right at the end. And like I said before as well, his storyline is definitely then continued in the Cursed Child theatrical production, which is very amazing. We then have David Tennant, who is joining the gang as one of Voldemort's followers, and he was really imperative for his return and also Harry's downfall in this film. Speaking of which, we then have Ralph Fiennes, who plays an adult Voldemort in this film, and we also have the return of the Jason Isaacs character, Lucius Malfoy, who is revealed to also be part of Voldemort's gang. We also have Clemence Posey in this film from the other school, the rival school that is also part of the Triwizard Tournament, and in this film she plays the character Fleur Delacour. And we also have Victor Crumb, who is from the other school, as part of the Triwizard Tournament as well, so they're both also rivals against the Harry Potter character. And finally we also have Malfoy, who doesn't have that big of a role in this film, but as always he's a bit of a rival figure again to the Harry Potter character. And we also introduce a new teacher, Mad Eye. All of the new teachers always have some kind of a questionable aspect to them, but from a casting character's point of view, Goblet of Fire is pretty awesome. So from a visuals point of view, the cinematography has progressed and improved so much since the first movie, and the Triwizard Tournament in particular looks really awesome. I mean, all of the dragon sequences, all of the underwater rescuing, and the maze in particular all look really spectacular. The final act of this movie against Voldemort in the graveyard and his army looked absolutely brilliant. Definitely the darkest and the most sinister and creepiest that the Harry Potter series has got to, and like I keep saying, was very unexpected and very shocking and very epic. So from a visuals point of view, this film is actually really awesome. So in terms of comparisons, you know, this film did have a little bit of a slow start, but the final moments of this film definitely made up for it. In terms of the middle movies, in terms of the Harry Potter series, I do think it's the best one from that set. I don't think it's as good as Chamber of Secrets or the Deathly Hallows, but that being said, you know, it is really epic in its own right because the final moments were truly spectacular. I also really like the fact that they had school rivalries, and this was the only movie that really explored that in a lot of detail. So from a comparison point of view, it's actually in the middle. So overall, I'd say, you know, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire is a great movie. I'm really glad that they took some risks, tried some things that were different, made it a little bit more darker. They did some brilliant casting in this film. You know, it did have a little bit of a slow start, but I'm really impressed with the epic finale, super unexpected. And like I said before, definitely led to a whole new theatrical production being based on this moment. And so for all of those reasons, I have to give Goblet of Fire a solid 6.5 out of 10. I'd love to hear what you think, so please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.